have in the house Dr. Clint G. Rogers.
Yes, I'm here. Not only me, but look at all these beautiful people with me.
Yes, yes.
I don't know if you can hear us. Can you hear us properly? Are you able to hear us?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. Everyone's saying that they've been missing you and so happy to see you. And, you know, we've been doing a deep dive here in the ancient secrets in such a way that I want you to hear some of their stories. But again, I just want you to see it.
Carol, can you mute me?
People all together in one place is such an awesome gift, you know? Yeah. And I'm just thinking about how many different countries and states are represented in this one room. It's so fun.
It's very fun here.
We lost your audio.
All right, you go for now, and then we'll get the audio set.
Okay, you came back a little bit. Okay, we're so glad to have you here. If you would in the chat, add where you're coming in from, and curious to know, have you ever had a near-death experience, life after life? Do you know it? Is it part of your history? If you could type something about that in the chat, we'd love to hear from you today. You want to try again, Dr. Clint?
Oh my goodness. Maybe we like broke the circuits with so much laughter and joy over here. These guys. I've learned a lot about these people I didn't know before. And yeah, and we still like each other. That's a good news. But actually, anyone here had like a near-death experience? Anyone here? No, but we're learning to live life more fully anyway. Yeah, one thing I want to say, we've been taking bus to different places, and one thing I didn't know about Renara is just with a little bit of music, she can move her body dancing in such a way it moves the whole bus. And like, she was instigating many dance parties. In fact, who knows, but maybe this call will end with a dance party. I'm going to mute myself just for a little bit, as you can read through it, some of the comments from other people, and we can engage with them. But I'm just reading. Oh, Featherwind Wisdom. I've experienced near-death drowning of my sons. Near-death resuscitation, 20 months of age. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Robin Lee, I've been working on healing the unfinished emotional issues from other lifetimes. Yeah, I guess we've all, if you believe in multiple lives, we've all had not just near death, but actual death.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Beautiful. So good to see you here, Janet. Ralph Brown, so good. Ananda, sending you so much love. Patricia, Robert good in Ogden, Utah. I love it. Aparna, sending you so much love in Cincinnati. Evie from Philadelphia, no near death. I'm glad. I'm so glad. That's a good thing. Luke from Olympia, Washington. You studied them, but have never had one. Beautiful. Bridget. Oh, you're just repeating but so good to see you here, Bridget. And Stephen, Dr. Stephen, what's happening? Are you a little bit jealous that you're not here with us at our dance parties?
But I'm here. I'm having a near life experience with you.
That's good. Jerem, so good to see you here. Roma Rishi, yes, so beautiful to see you here, sir. Well, I want to say welcome to everyone on this call. And as we love to do, actually, Jane, I should probably ask you if we're ready to do the drop from our head to our heart. You want to lead this portion of it? And then we'll go to our special guest, first of all, and then you're going to hear some amazing stories of people who are here in India, what their transformation has been like. Because even Andrea for Humanity, she actually left this today for New York, and she said, I don't think any of us leaving this place are the same people as when we came. You know, and not only that, but many people still here doing the Panchakarma experience. And so she's like, you're gonna have to prepare your families. She like made us all understand, you're gonna have to tell your families, be ready, because when you walk up the plane, you're a different person, a different vibration. So I really like that. So you're gonna hear some of those stories as well. But first of all, let's just take a moment, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've been going through over the last week, make sure we drop from our head to our heart and connect on that level. And Jaina, you can guide us in this.
Wonderful. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you. I'm so excited to see these people in India. This has been such an amazing week, a little week of less sleep this week, but it's been wonderful. So I'm so appreciative of the whole experience. So we're going to drop from our head to our heart with this beautiful song that Gary Malcolm created with Brother David. So with that, I would like you to just close your eyes and just experience.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now, and the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather, and even of the weather we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day, right now, is unique weather. Maybe a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same that is right now. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world, flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. You turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water. It's a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which we can open your heart. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you. That everyone who you will meet on this day will be blessed by you. Just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
Ah, that's such a perfect thing to listen to. And for us here in India, it's nighttime, and for many of you from listening from US, it's just barely the day started. And whether it's the end of the day or the beginning of the day or whatever part of the day it is for you, what if on today's call, what if there's some ancient secret that connects you more to your heart in such a way that, like David said, Brother David Standell Rice is the one who was speaking on that audio track made by Gary Malkin. Like he said, what if we live today as if it's our first and if it's our last? And it's actually really beautiful because today I did that. I didn't even know we were going to listen to that track, but it definitely enhanced the quality of this day for me in a significant way. And yeah, the story that we have, this special guest we have, has a story to tell that really anchors that in, that we don't know how many days we have of life in this physical body, but that the connection with the divine makes it so we're connected with all of life. And I just want to welcome, actually, I saw several people as we were doing the screenshots. First of all, I want to acknowledge, I'll welcome Cole. I want you to just say hi first of all, Cole.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here and share this moment with you guys. This means so much to me.
Yeah, I noticed that Melissa is also on this call. Melissa, I don't know, Dr. Melissa, if you can unmute yourself and just say hi, but I met Cole because Dr. Melissa invited me to an event at Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Are you there, Dr. Melissa? You can unmute yourself.
I am. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, you may recognize Melissa because I posted a picture recently where she was holding the book in the king's chamber of the Pyramid of Giza on 11/11 at 11/11. And the picture was taken at that moment in which they were broadcasting the message, this healing message to the world, and also charging with all those blessings. And Dr. Melissa, that picture was so beautiful. In fact, Kyle had it here in India, and just yesterday he brought it out, or 2 days ago, and I signed it. It was so beautiful to hold that same book that you're holding in Egypt.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, it was such a magical moment, and I'm grateful to be here. It's just, life is just a series of magical moments.
Yeah. Before I interview Cole, actually, I'll just say one of the people here in our practitioner training is actually from Egypt, Joseph. So pretty soon Egypt will have its own Siddha Veda practitioner, although he's a citizen of the world like many of us, so who knows where he'll actually end up. But Dr. Melissa, is there anything you want to say about the ancient secrets or about the book before I interview Cole?
Oh, wow. Well, when I first read the book, I was like, wow, it just ancient knowledge is deep within my soul. And I was like, I need to share this. I actually bought copies for my friends. But yeah, I mean, I'm just so grateful for you for writing the book and for sharing the book, and for all of you here on the call embodying the book and all of the ancient secrets. They really work, and they are available for everyone. And just really, really grateful to be a part of this community. And Cole and Sheila's here as well, and just all the connections that are being made around the world. So thank you. Yeah, they've definitely touched my life. Sheila's here too.
Sheila, can you unmute yourself? That's so awesome. That makes me so happy.
Oh my God.
That's so fun. Well, convergence is now rippling more and more through the globe.
Yes, yes, it is. I see so many beautiful familiar faces here, and bright light shining from all the faces here, Clint. I'm so grateful you invited me to join.
I'm so glad you're joining. So the context in which I met Cole was because Sheila had this inspiration, this idea. I don't know if you want to share about it, Sheila, but I think it's really beautiful. The concept, it was really powerful context in which to meet people.
Oh, thank you. I'll share it mostly because I think if this idea spreads, you know, it's just going to exponentially increase the speed at which all the right people are connecting as we bring in this new earth. For many years, I've had this vision, and I have a favorite poem, which I am too nervous right now to quote it for you, but I'll give you the gist. Is that it's we're all on our own path, and yet if we're true to ourselves and we keep going, we're all going to be converging at the top with all of the other people who have also been on the same journey. And so I created an event called the Convergence, and the underlying care for the event is that people like us are gathering together without it costing a lot of money. So it was an event at cost. I think there were 30 people here at my home in Steamboat Springs. And it was all the most magical people from all of the different events I've been to, and all of the different, just all different aspects of my life. So many people did not know each other, and they came together in the most beautiful and coherent way. It was a joy to watch, and many connections got made. So we will continue doing that. They will likely grow. And I'm definitely encouraging more people to do that, to just get as many of us together as often as we can, because we just laugh and play and dance and be joyful, and it's shifting everything. So I believe the hard work, you know, sometimes that's required, and yet I think so much now is just in the being joyful together. So thanks for letting me share that.
Oh, my cheeks are already hurting from smiling so much. I feel like what she created was a real embodiment of the opening quote of the book. I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. Because it's not like a seminar where there was some curriculum. It's people showed up with love, leaning into love, and discovering what happened in that sizzling awesomeness. In fact, it's so fun to see on here Preston, who was there, and several other people. And in that experience is actually where I met Cole. Now, the joy of meeting people in person, man, we've experienced that here on this 1 week intensive. The week before that, I was in Nepal. We had 24 amazing people that went on the mystical adventure of following the footsteps of Dr. Ram. And then even today at the clinic in Mumbai, I had like such a joy meeting. I saw Sue. I don't know, Sue Wiedenfeld, if you can unmute yourself. Her story is so beautiful. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Joining from Ayush Shakti Clinic, originally from Seattle, came with her friend that knows about this through Susan and Joseph Engelman. And I don't know if Susan and Joseph are here, but you gave me such a gift today of joy that I got to meet Sue in person. And as we were sitting there, Sue, it was almost like one miracle after another of people walking up. These two wonderful, beautiful women from Denmark that originally saw the interview I did with Cryon and that had come, actually were in Egypt with them and then had come here to the clinic. And it's like one after another, people brought their books and were like, this changed my life. And now we're here. And I had the joy of meeting for the first time and feeling that, you know, oh, really, when you do things with love, you know, you don't know the ripples that go out. And I really wanted to say, Sue, I want you to share more of your story, especially towards the tail end of your journey. We'll have a special call. Maybe we interview you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm day 4 of 28.
Okay, good.
Saying when we get closer to the end, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But one
Yeah.
thing I love that she said, that she's like, when I did the miracle, when Susan Engelman gifted me the miracle experiment game, I committed myself to give it 100%. And she says, I did it. And she's like, but it's not a 30-day thing. It's like, once you do that, your life changes forever. There's before the game and after the game. And I just love, she even shared about how there's a bird that flew up to her window. She had a different connection with it. And so just marking that in people's mind, because the next miracle experiment game that we'll do will start in May after Dr. Nam's birthday. We'll give some more information about that. But I just want to say thank you, Sue, for being here as well.
That was great. Thank you. It's great today. Perfect.
Yeah. Cool. My teacher and my friend and my, I don't know, co-pilgrim on this exploration of life, you know, I just want to say what a joy to have you on this call. The instant that I met Cole, I knew there was something special about him, you know, in this journey of life, in which really, actually, I'll just say this, I'll anchor it in with this. Andrea, before she left on the last day, or one of the last days when we were here at the practitioner training, she made a plea. She says, we need more youth to be involved in these things. We need more young people to be involved. And I says, great news. Cole is the one who we're interviewing. And through his story, I learned so much. I gained so much. So many of the insights that he shared with me changed my heart and changed my life. And I was really looking forward to the moment, that right moment in which we could share him with all of you. And I don't know, Cole, is this the first time you're sharing your story publicly like this?
Yes, this is actually the very first time it'll be shared in this kind of setting. So I'm super stoked, and yeah, I'm so excited to be able to share anything that could be helpful or, you know, insightful anyway. And yeah.
Good. Well, let's start with what happened with when you were younger, like, and your near-death experience. Like, can you just share that story so that way it gives people a context of kind of when things started to shift for you?
Yeah, so it was when I was 16 years old was when just a couple months after my 16th birthday was when my near-death experience occurred. It was I would call it it was a freak accident where a little bit graphic, but a chainsaw, I was chainsawing logs, and a chainsaw, it kicked back and it actually nearly decapitated me. And it cut through all my flesh and actually severed my jugular completely. And I was essentially witnessing myself bleeding to death in front of my own eyes. I actually saw blood just come out of my neck like a geyser. And by so many miracles, I actually survived that incident. My dad was not supposed to be present that day, but he just happened to be there right before this thing happened. And about, I would say, a minute after this occurred, I somehow allowed myself to surrender to my death. I saw that I was going to die, and for some reason it just, something clicked. And the second when I accepted my death in that moment, I was hit by this experience of it was this expansiveness that I felt inside of me. It felt like I was expanding into something greater in my body. And as soon as that happened, it was like everything went right perfectly just to keep me alive. We made it to the hospital like way faster than we should have, and we were like, he was just blowing through all these stop signs, like skipping all these lights, traffic lights and everything, and he cars were just getting out of the way. We got to the hospital. There was EMTs coming right into the building right as we showed up, and they got me right inside, and it was amazing how everything worked out. And I came out of that experience, I never quite was able to see things the same after that moment. It was this veil kind of lifted off me, where I was never able to perceive death the same way, because it wasn't scary or tragic at all. It was actually like a really beautiful thing that I felt like it was just like you're moving on to the next thing. I was a young child before that day that was terrified of the thought of dying. And when I was actually faced with my death right in front of me, there was no fear. There was nothing. There was no regrets. There was no anxieties. It was just beautiful. And ever since that moment, that's changed my view on what death meant to me and what life meant to me. And it from that point on, it's led me to a completely different life path that I never thought I would have, because I was completely against things like spirituality and awakening and anything to do with anything mystical. That was not for me before then, but I was definitely pushed into that direction through this, and the journey of recovering from this accident that happened.
Yeah, I remember when you told me about this, you also described what I want you to share with people. What was it like? Like, I know that the experience of losing the fear of death, but what was it like as you were in the car and, this whole thing was happened and you didn't even know if you had minutes left to live? Can you describe that a little bit more? Like your experience of that?
Yeah, so my memories of that experience was it was as if time was like moving so slow through that time. It was like it's almost like there was like a magnifier on every second that was occurring, and every moment was almost felt eternal as I was leading to that. And when I was in the car, all I remembered was, well, my dad was he was like frantically, driving, trying to get me to the hospital. And I remember just sitting there, and I was very quiet, very calm. I didn't really have much to say, but I did recognize in that car ride that I was going to die, and I was actually certain that I was going to die. There was no like hope in my mind that I was going to actually make it to a hospital or anything. I've lost so much blood at that point. This is only maybe a minute and a half after this thing occurred to where we actually got into the car and started going. And by that point, my entire chest was red. So there was no more white on my chest. And the amount of blood I saw come out of me was it was so great that I had zero expectation that that would ever come out of that. And I expected just I was expecting to see this tunnel vision, like people say in the movies where it's like you're seeing that your vision shrink and then all of a sudden the lights go out, and then that's what I was expecting, but it just never happened. I never lost my consciousness. I just was sitting there relaxed. I told my dad goodbye in the car, which I kind of was regretted later, because it was really painful for him to hear that, and he kind of choked up. But I actually said goodbye to him in third person, believe it or not. I said this is it for Cole, and I was like, goodbye, Dad. And it was it was a good run. And yeah, after that, I just sat there. I was just waiting. I was just waiting for it to go, for the lights to go out of me, and just never happened. And then next thing you know, I was out of the car going to the hospital, and now I was like, oh, now I might live again. and it wasn't mystical in the same way that I would have expected, or anything special coming down to save me. It was just like I was just sitting there with resting in the idea of death, and it wasn't bad at all. It was really, I have nothing bad to say about that experience. I could talk about the recovery process and the journey of healing all of the wounds, mostly the physical ones that occurred through that. That is an entirely different story that has I have a lot different take on that. But as far as the near-death experience itself, is just absolutely beautiful.
Something even about you sharing that, because this is my first time back in India since Dr. Naram passed away. And I remember when I passed on, and when I left India last time, I remember I didn't even know if I would ever come back again. And so even today, you can see the tika on my head. I went to his favorite temple, and I was there. So much emotion comes, and but something about even what you're sharing right now, Cole, it heals something inside of me. Even just that thought that it's not something to be feared, it's actually quite exciting, and especially for someone like Dr. Ram, who's so excited about adventures and journeys and discovery, and it's probably such an amazing portal opening. Now, one of the things that he would say all the time, his master taught him, is this quote in chapter 2. He says, every adversity, every difficult situation or heartbreak has within it the seeds of equal or greater benefit. And so you had this, it's pretty easy to say that almost being decapitated is a pretty serious adversity, so there's got to be a pretty serious gift from that. And can you share some of the things that have happened subsequently in your life, like some of the awarenesses that have come to you? Especially, I know there's been so many volumes and volumes, but any in particular that are present to you in this moment that you think would be helpful for people that are listening to this live or this recording?
Well, that was beautiful, Clint. That statement really hit me when you said that. Wow. In this moment, I would say that I would actually say almost something exactly to what you just quoted from Dr. Naram, that the biggest blessings have come from the deepest amounts of pain that I've felt from this injury, and the process of finding myself through that. I guess what I would say is that the beauty in life comes from your pain. The deeper the pain that you feel, the deeper the bliss they're able to feel. It's one of the laws of the universe that, what you feel in one direction, it has to have an equal and opposite. And I guess through this experience, it's cultivated there's this inner drive in me, this motivation to seek something that is beyond anything material, that I could never have had the willingness or the drive to that before, because there would just be no reason to. I was just some dumb kid that, I had a lot of other things I could have done with my life, but because of this pain that I was feeling, it was inescapable in my perspective. I had this enormous desire to find the truth in that, to understand that we have this incredible potential within us. I felt it briefly, and I felt it since, and my whole life has been dedicated to pursuing that greater potential that exists in every human being, how magnificent we are. We're so much more brilliant than we can even imagine. And just having those little instances of feeling infinite in your body. And every time I feel it, I just think I want to bring more of this into my body. I don't want to have to go anywhere to feel this magnificence, to become magnificent. I wanted to realize it into my physical form. And I thought, what better way to realize this magnificence than to take my body that's been all the doctors I've been to have told me that I would never fully recover from this, if at all. And my right arm was paralyzed for over a year after this accident happened. And 4 years later, I'm actually fully confident that I will fully recover from this. The whole right side of my nervous system actually, in a sense, I can't prove this medically because it hasn't been tested, but in a sense, I've recognized that there's actually, it's almost like my nervous system got short circuited on the right side, where there's actually areas all along my spine that there's these neurons that are no longer firing, and it's like sporadic all the way down to my foot, all the way up to the top of my head. So my left side and my right side are actually completely different sensory experiences for me. The left side feels a certain way. The right side almost feels like it's absent. There's things that can come in, and it allows me to it's a very fine-tuned experience of my own nervous system. And what that's done is it's essentially given me the opportunity to find any way possible to master my own nervous system. I want to be able to feel every cell of my body completely and be able to have awareness of every cell of my body completely. And
it's so cool.
every time,
I just want to say that it's so beautiful. You're describing your physical experience, and one of the things that also inspires me so much is that in the experience of the situation, the near death, and so many of the consequent healing, you also started to realize that there were spiritual gifts coming through. And I love this about Cole, everyone who's listening, is that he didn't know how to make sense of it, and really disorienting in some ways, spiritual gifts coming, that who do you talk to about it? And so he would actually be in presence where people would be like, you need to find this spiritual teacher, this, this. And as a 18, 19, 20-year-old, he would actually have the clarity that the most important teacher any of us have is actually nothing outside of us. It's inside. And he could see clearly, sometimes there's teachers, spiritual teachers or leaders or whatever, that are almost misleading in a way, knowingly or unknowingly, but taking energy away from people instead of pointing them back to themselves. And as he was speaking this, I'm like, wow, imagine if all kids all over the world get to hear this message from Cole. Could you speak a little bit about that, about the spiritual gifts that came to you, if you feel comfortable, whatever that you feel comfortable talking about, and in a few minutes, how each of us can tap more into that in ourselves, how we can be our own teachers, how we can let love guide us, another way to say it.
Well, I think you said it that better than I ever could, Clint. But yeah, these spiritual gifts that we have as humans, I truly believe are enormous. And in my own experience, I've witnessed multiple times instantaneous healing happen in my friends and family members. And all that's required was a complete openness to just the possibility of something happening. And in my personal perspective of how this occurs, it's that I've been told multiple times, and I suspect that I sort of have, it's like half my body is in the the side of living, and then there's another part of me that exists in the realm of the dead. It's not something that is connected to necessarily at a mind level. It's like my body sort of parts of my body exist in other planes of consciousness that aren't necessarily, it's not even something that's a higher frequency or a lower frequency. It's like something that's the world of the dead and the world of the living. And what's been able to happen is I would channel these sources into my physical body from some other place. And what would happen through that is people around me would, sometimes they would, if they truly believed it could happen, it all really matters on, because it's not, I saw myself as just a source that was bringing something through, and it was the person, it was the recipient that was actually the healer. They were healing their own bodies through their own beliefs, and I was just there as a reflection to what they could do for themselves. And every time I saw somebody in such an open state, miracles could happen to them instantly. I've even noticed things like things that medical professionals say can never be restored. The kinds of damage that just won't ever repair by any traditional means. They can repair instantly. They really can.
Yeah.
It's all really an illusion, and this reality is nothing but a reflection of who we think we are. And if we really are open to changing that, then anything can happen, absolutely anything. And we all possess these abilities to change the world around us and help those who can't always find help in certain ways. So
Yeah, I want to add onto this, one of the greatest secrets of Dr. Ram. So it's Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. And it's not in the first book, but in the subsequent books. It actually builds up to the ultimate secret of the Master Healer, is that yeah, we got some applause on that one. Just his secret is that he's not a healer, actually. In fact, he always would describe himself as more like a midwife. He's helping you deliver your own baby. And I love that, both clarity and humility, because what you're describing, Cole, is the power is within each of us to choose differently. I mean, now, even on a physical level, if you change your food, you change your future. You make a different choice and it changes your future. But if you change the food you feed your brain, it also changes your future in profound ways. The thoughts that you feed yourself. And what would you say is one way in which anyone listening, one thing you've discovered from your experience, what's something that we could do that would drop us more into that space of seeing that possibility of any kind of healing happening?
Clint, I don't know if this is on or not, but from what I hear from Cole and this beautiful soul, Cole, thank you so much for sharing this. There's so many things that are going through my mind. But I love the part where you guys were talking about pointing the healing back to yourself. Where a lot of times when we go to a healer, I can heal you, or I can do this for you. And there are probably some good that comes out of that, but it doesn't stay. And really the healing has to come from within. And so that has been my experience is the more that I can be present, the more that I can connect with myself. It doesn't matter what anybody else says or what they do. Sometimes it can influence me to point me into a direction, but really the grasping of the healing is inside of me. I also wanted to just say, I'm sorry that you don't have use of your arm, but I see this duality that's really pretty beautiful. It's almost like you've got two worlds going on, inside of your own body. And when you were talking about that, I thought, wow, you know, we were talking about, well, just when you were riding in the car and you were experiencing yourself leaving, and you started talking to your dad as if you were third person. And then things came together and you are alive and moving forward. There's just that duality that it's almost like you've got one foot in both worlds or both places, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So thank you, Cole. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh,
That's so beautiful. Oh, Cole, sorry about that. I think I you want to respond to that first, Cole? Let's see here. Cole, oh wait, just one second.
I think
You
Cole's
can
muted.
unmute yourself here. There we go. I think there we go.
okay. Are we gonna? Okay. Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you. And I do want to say I do have use of my arm now. By the way, it is actually like I can actually raise it over my head, and it's getting closer and closer to being completely normal again. And I'm entirely hopeful of that. I'm being patient. Basically, patience is, I guess, patience would be actually the answer to your question too, Clint, is to not try to force your healing, and to understand that there's a reason why you're in the situation you're in. There's a reason that you're, even though it might not seem like a good one, there's a reason why you're sick, or you're diseased, or you're seemingly in a position that you don't want to be. There's something that the universe is teaching you in that space you're in. And the more that you can see yourself in this position that you might not like from your egoic perspective, the more you can sit in that space and look at it from a place where you can see the beauty of why you're in this place and what it's teaching you. And then you can be there, and you can imagine yourself healed, but you can also imagine yourself, you're in this space where you really, you believe that, I don't know, you have to face all of the things that you would never allow yourself to face otherwise. If I wasn't in a space that I would be, from my old perspective, my worst nightmare, if I wasn't in this space where I had to always focus on going inside and uncovering deeper and deeper layers of who I thought I was, or who I want to be, or who I really am, what do I really want to do, why am I really here, what's my purpose, what's the purpose of this earthly realm we reside in. And if I had not been in this position, I would never look inwards. So really, it's the beauty of having to face all those feelings that you just don't want to face, all the feelings you do want to face and you do want to enjoy. You get to experience all of them. And I would say the most important thing to healing is just to like rest in that, wherever you're at, to just sit in that and find the beauty in the place that you're in, no matter where it is. Just not being attached to any outcome, because there's beauty in it either way.
As you're saying that, it just triggers in my mind that when something comes up, like we lose mobility in our arm or whatever it is, or back pain or knee pain, whatever, we think what we're healing is that thing. But what I hear from you is, no, actually, there's something else that wants to be seen. And there's some other experience that wants to be witnessed. And maybe there's something else we're resisting, that the illusion is that we're healing that thing. But really, it's more a perception of something else that we're going to discover through that process. I think that's really powerful, really beautiful. Cole, I just want to open up is it okay if anyone in the community, if they have something they want to share with you or a question they want to ask? But actually, everyone start thinking about if you have something you want to share with Cole or a question you want to ask him. But before that, can you describe just your own personal healing, what it was like, your mobility or different things before versus now? What % difference do you notice? And what can you do now that you couldn't do, a few years ago?
Oh, so I said absolutely. Any questions anyone would like to ask, I'd love to share anything. I'm an open book, so anything and everything, I'm happy to share. And as far as my recovery and my mobility, it's been, it's been, as far as a percentage, I would say if I had to say a percentage of healed, I would say I'm probably 67% healed, or around 70% healed. And
Like the 67%, so precise. It's awesome. Every cell in your body, so you got them all calculated in there.
But yeah, was there something else that
Well,
so I think I missed half your question about.
I would say that's part of it because the physical side, but even when I first met you, Cole, it's tricky to be around people sometimes because you're so sensitive to all the energy,
Yes,
and
I didn't actually mention that part. That whole side of things is the frequency sensitivity that's came from this has been it's been tremendous. That's what's given me the most actually insight and view into the non-physical world, is that through frequency sensitivity, I'm actually able to feel others' emotions that are not mine in my body, and perceive other people's thoughts, because it's not there's no sense of separation between those things anymore. Everyone broadcasts, everything about you is actually completely transparent, from a really real place. Everything you think, everything you feel is absolutely available to everyone here. It's all being broadcast like a radio, and there's all these frequencies coming off all of us. And if you're sensitive enough, you will, whether you like it or not, you'll be feeling other people's feelings and hearing other people's thoughts sometimes. And I was put in a place where I was kind of subject to that to a huge degree, and I'm had to learn to separate myself again from self and other, and not be completely taken by the wave of other people's emotions and to think that they're mine. So that's been very interesting too. Yeah.
I remember when we were at Sheila's home, the times in which everyone gathered in the same room is the times often when Cole would leave, because he's like, this is a lot to hear everyone's thoughts and feel everyone's feelings. And because he could see through situations so clearly, also, he'd know if things being spoken weren't, there was mixed motivations or different things in there. And so for the fact that you're here on this call now, like literally being broadcast all over the globe and sharing so vulnerably and powerfully from your heart, Cole, is awesome. That means you must have learned some kind of secrets on how to modulate or how to assimilate, individuate, or whatever the word is. I don't know. I just throwing a bunch of words out there. I bet a lot of people on this call also who are empaths, very empathic, and sometimes don't know how to distinguish between their own feelings or others, or especially when the global situation is full of anxiety, fear, worry about this war, worry about this virus, worry about whatever kind of thing. Maybe one question is, what do you do? And then I see also Leonore has we'll call on you next. We'll take 3 questions, but what's something that all of us can do in that kind of case to kind of process on not taking like Dr. Ram, he would say, instead of becoming consumers, let's become creators. So instead of consuming the world's fear, how can we become creators of joy or creators of love or co-creators? I don't know, something like that. What's something that we can do?
Oh, that to be able to separate, basically it's just a practice of separating yourself from those thoughts and emotions, and Uh, I haven't quite found, there's no one way that you can just accomplish that kind of thing. I mean, it's not something that is just like there's a magical solution to resolving your empathy for others. But if there was one magical thing, it would be unconditional love. But all I've done, the best thing I've done to resolve that within myself is to not have judgment for anything that's coming in, any feelings or thoughts that are coming in, anything that, because the biggest thing was that if I found myself disliking another human being, or having some sort of judgment or any kind of adverse reaction to anyone's frequencies, I would have to recognize that, this is a reflection of me. There's something about me that I'm not. It's something it's like I'm actually the real problem. Every way that someone expresses themselves is equally valid and perfect. And if I am having a problem with this, there's something in me that has to shift. There's something inside of me. There's some sort of judgment I'm having on myself that is causing this to happen. And when that judgment goes away, I no longer take it on. So I would say that's
who else
that's been
wishes
the
they
best
would have
way so
learned that
far.
when they're 20, you know? So we got a lot of hands raised over here. Okay. What's next? Yeah. So beautiful. I want to say, Cole, there's one thing that I saw Dr. Ram in the Ancient Secrets when we were with kids that were, for instance, autistic or Asperger or different things. He would always say these are geniuses, actually, because but the thing is, they're so sensitive to so many things happening and taking it in, and then the emotions are there and the anger and so many things. And this is a couple Marma points that he shared with me. Can I share with you? And then everyone on the call, maybe we do together this. And you just kind of notice how you feel as you do this. But the very first one is on your right finger. It's the same Marma for discovering what you want, but you just press 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should say that my mom she used to work at a school with kids that had multiple different abilities, and they would sometimes medicate them, or when they were out of control, they would, kind of constrain them. But my mom started pressing these points on these kids, and they would just become calm without any medication, without any restraints. And the other teachers were like, what's happening? Can you teach us? So she started demonstrating and doing workshops at her school on how to do this. And then the adults started doing it for each other. Also, when their emotions were out of control, or when they felt some kind of pain, it's very powerful. So you press this point. The second one is actually on your right side, your right earlobe right here. And you press 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The third one, you actually press this under the lip. Above the lip, but under the nose. And as you press here, you breathe in. And as you unpress, you breathe out, and you do 6 times to go. Six times. Then the last one, you take your left hand, the back of your head, your right hand, the palm, and you curve them around, and it's like all the fingers are pressed down, the palms are there, and you squeeze 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very good. And the last one, you just can tap your chest here 6 times, like this. Even when I do it right now, I feel good. It realigns the hemispheres, and it just increases the circulation in such a way that anyone who's feeling anxiety, fear, or confusion, or somehow disconnection, it's like a magical thing, because we always have access to our hands and our body, so we can press these points. Now, also, if you're paralyzed, you can still press with the ones that you have, the fingers or the hands that you have. You can do this with one hand, for instance. And I don't know, I felt like anyone who has that kind of situation, this point may help. Okay, now some people had their hands up. Leonore, please, question for Cole.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Cole. Thank you so much. You are a true yogi. And I am referring straight to Paramahansa Yogananda, whom Clint mentions in the first few pages of the book. And when I started to read the book and he says the book came to him in Mumbai, I said, oh my God, I'm at home because I'm a disciple of Yogananda's. So anyway, in that book, which if you haven't heard about it, it's a spiritual classic. There are incidents that are mirroring your experiences. And what you're sharing here is totally validating what the yogis, try to teach us. And you've done it, you're doing it still. You got a fantastic life ahead of you. But you bowed the arm. There is a story in the autobiography of a yogi where I guess he was a Swami or a sadhu, and he was assaulted and somebody chopped his arm off. Whoop off. And the Swami, the renunciate, just took it and stuck it right back on the body. And all the stories in the autobiography of a yogi are not invented. That story is there to describe what is possible. And you are really, really close to that state of consciousness. You are validating so much that's in that book. So I am gushing here about it because I am in such good company. And thank you for being who you are. That's it. Oh, and one more thing. I had a serious arm injury myself. I tore 2 out of 4, what are they called? Not ligaments.
Muscles?
No, the things that connect us.
Ligaments is probably it.
Tendon.
Okay.
Anyway, tendons. We have 4 tendons here, and I tore 2. And I was supposed to get surgery, and I meditated a lot. And I opted against the surgery, and the doctor said, you will have to have later a titanium. Anyway, I'm like that. And I don't know where the other 2 tendons went, but I'm functioning and it is possible, but it took patience, which is exactly what you said. Thank you again. I hope to meet you one day.
Leonore, we know with your arms mobile, you're ready for the dance parties then.
Oh, yes. And I'm going to come to Colorado. I want to meet you all in Colorado. I'm coming in April to Colorado.
Beautiful. Thank you, Leonora. Let's go to the other questions, okay, Robert, I can see if you can turn your camera on. We'll go to Corey first. Corey, and can you unmute yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm also in Mumbai. Wonderful story. Oh, I love this story. And recently I've been, for the last couple of months, I've been listening to podcasts of near-death experiences. I've listened to 50 of them, I would say, in the last 3 months. So this just adds to it. And I just want to comment and reiterate what you have already stated. 2 of the most profound experiences that almost all of them share. The first one you stated was that the sense that your life is eternal. Death is not an ending. It's just a transition. And having that knowledge this young in your life is such a beautiful gift that you can move forward without fear of that ever again. And the other thing is that you talked about at the end of your statements about the idea of not judging others. And almost everyone that has had a near-death experience, when they go to the other side, even temporarily, they have the sense that wherever they came from, whatever they were, they are absolutely loved, and there's no judgment of them. They're just in a place of divine, unconditional love. And I think you bring that back into your life, and it is such another wonderful gift. And I just honor you for both of those.
Oh, so beautiful, Corey. All right, we'll go to Robert. I don't know if you can unmute yourself, Robert.
Hey, Cole, how's it going? So
Hello.
what I did want to ask was, I just imagined my own life when I was like 16 to 20. That was probably one of the most social times of my whole life. How has this like profound experience you've gone through changed your social life?
Yeah, my social life, because that has been more or less absent, I would say. It contributed to a lot of self-isolation and going internal rather than external, which would not normally be a thing a young person would do, but I was kind of pushed into that, I guess. So yeah, I would say
Well,
not much
I
of
may
a
add it, instead of being absent, actually, instead of connecting with a few friends, he was connected with all of the universe and everything. So very social. It's just a different kind of
I guess,
social.
I guess that's true.
Anyway, that sounds profound. I was blessed. My mom had a near-death experience at a pretty young age, and I sort of did too, but I was so young that I barely remember it. But she's a very introverted person as well, so maybe it's a thing that just tends to happen. Well, I don't know. I guess some people would say that, but.
Thank you for your good question, Robert. Cole, anything else you want to share regarding what Corey or what Leonore said? Any reflections? And then we'll go into another section of the call. But any reflections on what they shared? Plus, you're getting so much love from people in the chat. You're getting so much love.
Well, first I want to say thank you guys so much for everything you've said, and thank you for validating these parts of myself that I don't always feel comfortable sharing, but you guys have made such a beautiful space for me to share my own perspectives and experiences that don't always seem exactly like I'm saying sometimes. And so yeah, I just think it's wonderful. It's wonderful what you guys have brought through to me, into my awareness, and to reflect back to me that these things are real. These amazing, beautiful things do happen, and there are others out there who have had these experiences that put us in touch with the other side. And it's okay to be, it's basically, I'm feeling more like it's okay to be me. I'm judging myself less through everything you guys are sharing, and I can't ask for a greater gift than that. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you for allowing me to love myself a little more.
Spontaneous applause here. Well, I know you're sensitive to energy, so this may be a little bit of a blast, but what we do, we like to put our hands together and literally from all over the planet send you a blast of love, Cole. And you can receive it like this if we're gonna give it like this. We love you and we're with you. So beautiful. Such a gift. Hopefully every single cell of your body loves that. I want to thank Dr. Melissa for inviting me to that event. I want to thank Sheila for not only hosting the event, but actually when I showed up, she showed me, or she said in her freezer, it was full of mung bean soup that she had made for everyone at the event, which is so good. And I don't know, sometimes meetings are so divine. I could talk to Cole, I have talked to him for hours, and it's never enough, because there's such an innocence and lightness, light in all the senses, light, but also light, and yeah, an absence of fear or ego. I mean, not like any of us are totally absent of fear and ego. It's partly what the experience is that we're having in these bodies, but just an ability to speak things as they are through experience, not through reading a book or hearing a seminar or something, but by living it. And one thing that I love about even just what I feel like the ancient secrets do is it points us all back to ourselves and asking, what do you want? What do you want? And I'm more poignantly clear than ever that no day of life is guaranteed. This day we have, like Brother David Stendhal Rice said at the beginning of the call, this day we have to experience as we choose. And the question being given us is, what do you want? What do you want? And I'm so grateful, Cole, that some of the powerful things you shared with us now help us to like more embody the possibilities that sometimes we're maybe numb to or not aware of or not conscious of. And through your being. I mean, I know you shared like just a small fraction, 2% of your experience of things that could inspire people and possibilities that could help all of us. And that sharing is beyond like, what is the being of who you are? And the being of who you are is a gift, even if you share one sentence or nothing at all. So thank you so much for that. Jana, you have something you wanted to share?
I do. Cole, what Dr. Clint just said about, you only sharing just a small portion of your experience. What you experienced to me is a trauma, and there's many people in this call and many people in the world who've experienced trauma, and they've had an inkling of what you've experienced with your sensitivities and with your isolation even, and even with your visualization of being able to visualize, your wellness, and a lot of us want more of that. And I really would hope that we could have more conversations with you, in a space. I'm asking Dr. Clint too, I'm hoping, because what you
anyone else interested in having more conversations with Cole? Yeah, actually that sounds good. Then maybe that can be the title of your book, Conversations with Cole. Good.
Beautiful. But Cole, thank you so much for sharing. And you're not different. You've had a very unique experience, and I know that most of us can experience or relate to even just a little bit of your story, and we're so grateful. At least I am so grateful for you. So thank you.
Yeah, so beautiful. Cole, love you so much. And now if you can stay on the call, Cole, you can add throughout the rest of the call, but I wanted to make sure we had a chance for some of the beautiful people here in India. I mean, we just dropped into such a space. I'm just looking at everyone's faces after their treatments all day, and then having this download of heart is such a gift. But I just like to invite anyone that wants to share. And also, Elio, I see you have your hand raised too. I'd like to invite you to share, but let's start with some people here just to share their experience of what's been happening as we've been, dropping into these ancient secrets, which are about all the possibilities of healing and transformation and awakening. And, Dr. Ram called it a silent revolution. And someone says also silent evolution, in which we're becoming more and more aware of what's possible. For me, I didn't even know really who I was. I had a PhD. I traveled 1 year, 40 countries, so many things, won awards, but I didn't even know who I was, until I went to silence and did some other things that helped me break through more and more. And even still I'm discovering, but I want to hear some of the transformations that people here had a chance to share. Now, as they're sharing, Jana, if you can help facilitate, Cole, you can help facilitate. I am actually needing to bring someone to the airport with love. And so I'm going to just be listening from my phone for this next section. But I just want to give a chance so you guys can take turns. Anyone, I guess maybe even Mojda, if you haven't ever known. I just start with this. Cole, this is so powerful. When was it that you used, I don't know if you remember when you said that prayer. So Mojda, she was an ICU nurse. And actually, Dr. Stephen and her were in a landmark forum experience together. And through it, she just realized, I don't know if this is fulfilling my life's purpose. And she had the courage to walk away from that job, but at the same time had a prayer, please bring into my life what needs to be next. Now, little around 2 months ago, Dr. Stephen gave her the book. I don't know if you're still on the call, Dr. Stephen, but he was describing to her some of the things that were happening. It's like, she's like, I'm interested. He's like, okay, just read the book and get back to me. And how long did it take? 2 days to read the book. This was in January 16th of this year. Now talk about being on the fast track to like discovery. Within a few was like a week later, she signed up for the 3-year practitioner course. 3 days later, read the book in 2 days. 3 days later, signed up for the 3-year practitioner training. And then within a month or so later is here in India with us, as if she's like, we've known her forever, you know? And she has also had her own beautiful, all of us have experienced healing, awareness, awakening. Kyle, he's described it. He's like, this is like the Siddhaveda Olympics. Everyone's coming from their countries and then bringing home these things to their own countries and cultures. And she's a great representative of not just one culture, but so many. And would you want to share a little bit about some of the transformations you experienced, or awarenesses or awakenings that you've had while being here? Okay, good. So I'm going to have her sit here, and then anyone else, please take time to share from your heart something. And then Cole, you're free to share any insights, or anyone's free to ask questions along that journey as well. So I'm going to just, with love, and Elio, I can't wait to hear whatever you're going to share too, because I know it's always going to be awesome. In fact, you have done so much in my mind and heart. You know, last week as we were doing the call about honoring mother and honoring women, I was like, just thinking about how amazing in your healing, one of the first things that you did was acknowledge Rosa, your wife. You know, that touched my heart, and it's impacted me so much. And I just keep thinking about that, you know. And one of the first things that you wanted to do was apologize. Like, oh man, I was being more harsh than I needed to, using a sledgehammer for a gnat or something like that. And it's really impacted me, that strength, that courage, that perspective, Elio. So anytime you have something to share, I'm always excited about it. Now I'm going to be listening from the taxi. Okay, so Mojda. And also Dr. Stephen, are you here still? No, okay. So, and then anyone else that has anything particular you want to share, any feedback for Cole, I encourage you to put it in the chat. Any message that you want to share with anything from your heart, and I'm going to save this chat and make sure that he gets it. And also, Cole, make sure that you get it. So Mojda, you can sit right here. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I love you and I'm with you.
Dr. Clint. Dr. Clint, that's my book.
Oh, I almost took her book. She did not want to see that leave. Okay, I'm safely putting that there. Does anyone need any water?
I have some here for everybody. Thank you. Bye, Dr. Clint. Okay, I'm sharing about my experience about here, right? Okay, so one, I'm beyond happy and excited to get to learn about the ancient secret. It's a dream come true after 21 years after I graduated high school. So when I was here in 2017, I had a vision of being somewhere in a forest and like learning about herbs and whatnot. And so when we were here on the forest, that was just like, it was just like all of a sudden like, oh my God, this is it. I've seen this here. And when we were here, we in a clinic, one of the days I got to have an experience. And that was, I got to forgive the trauma that I have had for the past 30 years of my life. I got to forgive each person individually. And then I got to thank them for coming and bringing me the lesson that I needed to learn. And there was one last person that I couldn't forgive. And I really asked for like encouragement to like to really like the strength to forgive this person. And I eventually was able to forgive this person and when after I forgive this person, I saw this vision of that this person was there for me, that to test to see if I learned the lesson that I needed to learn. And this would have not been, so I thank the person in you know, but this wasn't going to be possible if I wasn't here. Or maybe if it wasn't, it would have taken so much longer, but it was amazing. It's like in one day I got to like relieve like pain and these pain that I felt within me, in my heart. I got to relieve it. And so I want to thank you, Cole, for mentioning that when a pain comes, to like not wanting to fix it, like to go through it and just get rid of it. And so the past 6 days I've been having this pain in my neck and my shoulder, and I've been so agitated about it that I want to get rid of it. And I'm like, I'm here, I want to get rid of this thing. But now I get to just be with that. So you reminded me of to just be with it and to see what is the lesson in this? What is it that is for me to learn? And I love this book. I just love this book. I just gotta say, I love it. And I've learned so much in the last 2 months that I've been around. And I just can't wait to like share this. I've shared it with 4 people that they're already like, you know, like using this in their life, but I just can't share with everyone. So they get to have the healing that we all get to experience. So thank you.
So beautiful. Oh, I've loved that you are here in the community. You are a bright light, and I can't imagine. Did you say just 6 days you've been going through that experience of being able to let go and forgive people that you've had something towards 30 some odd years?
It was my actually 4th day here in India. It was in one day, the experience. And I didn't know actually it was like, I was standing there and it looked as I was meditating, but I don't know, like, you know, I wasn't here, and that the experience took about a couple hours long. And I was in actually clinic when this happened. And it was just a beautiful experience. So, and then, you know, I was saying that in the last 6 days, I've been dealing with this neck pain. And now I see that there is a lesson in that for me as well. So to just be with that and not be patient, and then see what is the lesson and just allow the lesson to come.
Well, hang tight. Dr. Stephen is on the call. Dr.
Oh,
Stephen.
and I gotta thank him. So I really.
And how did you find out about this book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, which I would go like this if I had it in my hand?
About this book? I've learned about this book and a call that I was in with Dr. Stephen, with which we were in a group for 10 months together. And then he was sharing about, he was just sharing with the group about the healing. And I was just like, oh my God, what is this thing? And then told me about the book. Why don't you share?
Read it in a day. She read it in a day or two, and then called me and said, how do I get involved in this? I said, well, there's a 100-day course. There's a 1-year course. And there's a 3-year course. She goes, yeah, that's the one I want to take, the 3-year course. And I said, but it started already. So I called Dr. Clint and found a way to get in. And then suddenly she's going to India, where I was supposed to be, but I'm here now on this beautiful stream, walking with my dog. And so it's great. It's great to see all of you, because I've been there. I've been in those classes when they first started. I was actually, in some ways, I remember I was in a class with all the Ayushakti doctors, and I was the only one asking questions. And then I realized I was the only one in the class. They were just there to make me feel more comfortable. And then I did the first class with people from all around the country in Goa. And so it's wonderful to watch the process of everyone going through it. And what I'd like to say, what you guys are going to get in 3 years, I am still learning because I didn't have a organized process like you did. So you will be my teachers someday.
Oh, Dr. Stephen, thank you. I'm not sure that I believe that, but that's okay. You know what, I think Dr. Naram used to say, everybody is his teacher, anybody is a teacher to everybody. And I love that because it's very true. We learn from each other all the time. Oh, thank you so much for your story. It's so great to see you.
Here's one of my teachers here, free and running around in the creek. So happy.
Oh, so handsome. Great. And who would like to speak next? And if you'll state your name, because it's not on the Zoom, that would be great.
Yes, it's Rochelle, and I'm just I mean, I'm looking around in here. I don't know how many countries we have represented in here, but we have so many more represented out there. I think we had 19 countries represented total through the course. And the experience that I'm taking home in such a big way, besides all
Oh, I think we lost audio.
Yep.
Rochelle, can you hear us? Oh, I think they froze. Oh my goodness.
Did too much hugging over there.
Well,
If
Elio, do you want to say? Do you want to ask your question while they're coming back?
yes. A call, I want to address you directly. That when you said everything that you have to say, you only said it to me. There was nobody else. I related to every single little bit of information and clear in my head a lot that is happening to me lately. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And it will be great, if you continue to do what you're doing and repeat the story. And may might be 1,000 times, that you're repeating the story, but put the energy that you're putting into it, and we will feel it. And we will get whatever we can take out of the story. That's what I always ask people that when they speak to just say what is in their heart. Because the somebody hears it and there is a message somewhere for somebody, and it's like the aha moment. And that is just fantastic. I also want to stress out what you have said, and that is, and Jaina said the same thing, that there is a lesson. And when you're having a situation, instead of facing it head on and says, I'm going to take you down, where I'm going to heal it, where I'm going to cure it, you look at the lesson that we have learning lessons coming to us all the time. And
What are some that come to you, Elio? What is triggered in your mind as a result of Cole speaking?
the fact that lately what happens is my wife out of the blue skies get a pain in the shoulder and in her arm, and I feel really bad, and naturally I want to put my energy to heal her. Okay, and what happens is, well, she didn't get healed. She's having it coming and going, but the thing is that I have the same pain in the same place. So I'm like, I did the thing with the arrhythmia, right? I sat down and I just had a conversation with myself, and I said, okay, I had this experience and I do not want to have it. So I just went through the steps and I got rid of the pain instantly.
Mm.
That is the lesson. That in a way, I realized that she has to get to the point to to believe in herself and trust herself that she can heal herself. On the other way, my lesson was that I did it repeatedly since
So,
then. So it
I
comes and goes, and I stop it like that, like when you take an aspirin or a painkiller. So the lesson keeps coming back, and it's teaching me, to get stronger in the process. How do I go to the steps of solving the situation?
so I guess what I'm not quite sure that I'm understanding, but I'm understanding. I think I'm understanding that you're saying that you're relating to what Cole has said, and and one of the ways that your experience of relating to him is that you had the same pain that your wife had, and you're wondering, where does my energy start and where does hers start and end? And is this really my pain or is it her pain? And Cole had mentioned that, you know, he was experiencing and feeling everybody's feelings. Did I hear you correctly, Elio?
It's a little bit different what is happening.
Okay, then please tell me.
I'm completely aware after the experiences that I have gone through. I'm completely aware that I take responsibility for what is happening to me, and I can deal with it. And instead of looking, that I'm having this pain, and looking for a solution from the outside, every single time, it's like I can do it myself. So there is a double thing, I'm trying to help her out to get to the point where I'm at, that, she solves her own problem. Maybe I put some energy into her, but she has to do what she has to do, the steps. On the other hand, the lesson it keeps coming back to prove to me, that I can turn it off in a blink of an eye. That is what I'm learning, and that is a lot more.
I think Elio froze too. Cole, did it trigger anything in you that you would like to say or share?
Well, I thought that what Elias said was beautiful, and it's magnificent that he's able to have that kind of internal clarity where you can just release things like that instantly. It's very inspiring to be able to accomplish that and have that kind of self-confidence. And I just think that's amazing. That is so incredible.
Thank you.
I want to give credit to Dr. Steven, but I don't want to take no credit. He threw it right back at me. I love you, and I love to see you all the time, Dr. Steven. I'm happy to see you and hear from you. I thank you all for hearing me out. I like to make a long story short because I want to give space to anybody else that have something to say. My love to all of you.
Thank you, Elio. We've got India back on the line again. I think they're unmuted. Hello, hello.
Yes, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes, Rochelle, there you are. Okay, great.
So I'll try to pick up where I left off, but we've got so many countries represented here, but we've got so many more represented on the call as well. And what happened when we came here and started just integrating with everybody and becoming family together with everybody is this amazing experience, like Cole was talking about, where there is no other. We are all connected. And I started seeing that each of us is this spark of light in every place that we all reside and live. And that each of us represents an individual spark of light that now is connected like a grid all over the planet with a tapestry of love blanketing over all of that light. And it just feels what came to me, and it was so moving and so powerful, that we aren't separated and we are creating this amazing grid of light and love that is bringing the frequency of the planet in a more elevated way. And we are instrumental as a group, as a oneness group, of really supporting the entire planet in love. So it just so powerful to me that way.
Well, Rochelle, what you're talking about is what I have been aware of as well. And I spoke about this in both of the groups, in the European call and also the Asia Pacific call. I said, it's so beautiful to see you guys come together. And I said, our group is shifting, and it's not only just our group, but it's shifting the world. But by you guys coming together and bringing so much love to each other, and there's a cohesiveness that is actually, it's rippling out into our group. There's been a synchronicity that's been existing inside of just the communication within amongst each other. And it's beautiful. And I truly believe that you guys are the hub for this, that you guys have really, as you guys have come together and really gotten to know each other. And of course it comes from the lineage. I heard somebody say on the graduation that, or something like that, that they experienced so much love. Oh, it was Zappy. Zappy was saying she had never experienced so much love. And, and that came from the Ayashakti family. And it's so beautiful what you guys are saying. You are putting a canopy of light around us, like you said, Rochelle, and it is affecting the world. It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And it was, for me, it was, I had an idea of it mentally, right? I felt that before we came together, but this really solidified it as a deep emotional connection that way. So I was knowing it before, now I'm really feeling it, and it's so much more powerful. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah.
It's wonderful. Anybody else would like to share?
Anybody else? Anybody? Anyone? Anyone? Something.
Yeah, Deborah.
Hey, I did want to say that I just really want to thank all of you that were actually on the lives in the middle of the night. I'd look up at the screen and you were, I think, I don't even know if you missed one. And
I might have been sleeping through a lot of it. Sorry.
But anyway, we love you guys, and we knew you were with us, and we just want to say that even though you weren't here physically, that we knew you were here in spirit, and we appreciated it.
We are one.
All right, so we're all gonna put our hands together and send love to everybody.
Let's all put our hands together, send love back.
We love you and we're with you.
We love you and we're with you. So beautiful. Oh, you guys, thank you so much. Wonderful.
We're probably gonna have to mute us or they're gonna start the dance party.
I love it. Wonderful. Okay, well, is there anything that anybody else would like to say or share to Cole or to the group in India? If so, if you'll raise your hand or just simply unmute. And if not, then we'll yes.
Hello.
Yes,
yeah,
hello.
This is Sarvan here. It's very quiet, very beautiful session. Lot to learn out of it.
I'm so grateful. What was the thing that you took away the most? What stood out in your mind the most?
I was listening to Cole about his situation and his healing. That was quite amazing out of it.
Mm. Wow. What touched your heart about it the most?
Well, how he got cured.
How you got cured. Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
that
amazing.
was great. Something to learn. It tells people it's not only you. There is other people in the world which they believe into something. They got cured.
How will you take what you've learned from this call and put it into your life? What will affect you, or what will be on your mind?
Well, it's I think this is a good lessons to learn out of this. That's what is on my mind. Yeah, it's lots of lessons to learn out of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. So grateful that you're here. Oh my gosh, thank you.
All right.
And Bridget, you had something to say.
Oh, I was just going to say how beautiful today is. And there's a song that keeps going through my mind. Sorry, Gary. It's We Are Family. And if anything, this global call has made me realize that
my individual experiences are everybody else's experiences, that our magic is already here. We just need to embrace it more and work with it more with an open heart. So peace to everybody.
So beautiful. Thank you. We are family. We really are. And the more that we come to these calls, the more that we meet people in person, at the Pulse clinics, in India. No, don't think that's going to happen very often, but when we are able to gather together, it just kind of creates that bond. I love what Renara says. It's so fun to watch people walk off of the computer screen and into person when she sees them in real life. And it is very true. It's, Aparna reminded me that it was a year ago yesterday that I met her at the Pulse Clinic in Georgia for the first time. I met many of you at the Pulse Clinic in Georgia, and it was wonderful. So awesome. Anyway, well, with that, if anybody else doesn't have anything else I'd like to share, Carol, do you have anything?
I just thought maybe we could wrap up with Gary's it's so good to be alive, and then go just even if it's just 5 minutes, breakout rooms, and people can stay as long as they want. We'll end with the song, and those that need to leave can leave. But there's so much in the chat. There's so many experiences. I'd just like to give people a chance to connect a little bit and keep that connection as long as it's comfortable. I'll stay on the computer to hold it. So
great. Okay. I really have a lot of love and respect for Cornelia and her technology skills.
Yes. And Tia has her hand up.
Oh, Tia, yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank Cole for coming on the call, and just wanted to share. I heard Dr. Clint speak to you about writing your book, and this might be a book you might enjoy reading. It's called Application of Impossible Things. And it's about a woman who was contracted. She wasn't in the military, but she was in a roadside bomb and that blew up. And it's a very fascinating book about the experiences of going through the multidimensional levels of healing the physical body in this plane. That's all.
There we go. These technology things I'm trying to balance. Thank you so much, T. I'm so sorry for the interruption. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that information about that book. All right, Miss Carol, here we go.
Okay, I got a question.
Just to be alive, I am grateful, I am grateful. The stars of the dawn, I am grateful. For the miracle of every strong heart, and I live to survive. I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful. Wait. I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful just to be alive. Are you grateful? Just to be alive. I am grateful. I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful just to be. I'm telling you, I'm grateful for every little dark minute. Hallelujah. So let's know where that came from. Who's next? Come on. And we could just sing along too, but I think there's some performance.
Thank you, guys. So we're gonna do breakout rooms. Is there anybody who would like to say anything?
I have a
I'm
feeling it was
grateful.
Roma Ricci did.
I'm grateful.
I'm grateful too, just to be alive.
Well, before we go into the breakout room, would you like to unmute and say, I love you and I'm with you?
Yeah.
Let's do that. I love you and I'm with you.
Love you.
Love you and I'm with
I'm with
you.
you.
I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with
It's
you.
such a
You and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with
Love
you.
you and I'm with
Marian,
you. I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
I love you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you.